Previously on Unranked.
You know what? It's actually a really important birthday because it's the birthday of the Unranked podcast, which we decided to also release on St. Patrick's Day a year ago today. So let's not keep the fans waiting. Episode 106. This is our 2-year anniversary. Happy fucking birthday, guys. 3 years of podcasting. We've made it. We are officially 3 years old. Hey, everyone, and happy 4 years of the Unranked podcast. That's right, We're here celebrating 4 years of the Unranked podcast.
Today, this episode comes out, and it is 5 years to the day of the original episode 1 of Unranked podcast coming out. What's up, Unranked podcast? It's the 315th episode of the show.
The arm on the back.
It's our 6th year of podcasting. It's our 6th-year birthday.
So we've been doing this for 7 years.
Happy birthday. It's the 367th episode of the Unranked podcast.
What is this? Is this like from Dune? What is this? Wait, I'm sorry. What? What's happening? Oh my. Season 4, Saga 2. Wow. What the fuck was that? Is that the thing that Tom...
Yeah,
Stop?
happy 8th anniversary to the
That was
Unranked
insane.
podcast. It is the what a episode number. It is the 420th episode of the Unranked podcast.
I'm honestly right in that zone, so let's do it.
2 decades of podcasting. We're entering our 9th year. It is our 8th birthday.
2
We
decades.
started in the 2010s, and now we're in the 2020s.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, is that what the saga thing means? That apparently.
Well, no. So Saga. Let me introduce. This is Christian
Yes,
Humes here, episode
yes.
420. We have Alex Tuna Marinello
Hello.
and Thomas Caswell. Welcome back to the show.
Hi everyone. Holy moly! What a way.
So we have in the past discussed, series, seasons, right? So we've finally locked it down, the delineation between the different breakdowns of the show. A season is delineated by the Pokémon generation. So we're on the 4th season of the show. A series is based on what year we're on. So we're, series 8 of the show. And finally, saga are separate delineations within each season. So now that we're entering a new series of season 4, we're entering our 2nd saga, so that we have separate breakdowns throughout.
I like it. You know what? That made more sense than I thought it was gonna. So there we go. Excellent. Yeah, it's great to be back. That was wild. Listening, watching all that.
But how did you? Okay, for those of you who are not video watchers,
Well, this is gonna be hard to explain. Tuna's gonna
at
struggle
the
to
end of the
explain this.
previously on, when Tom was laughing, but you couldn't really, because he was like kind of like holding it in, and I was saying, "What is going on?" Chris was in a shroud, in like a desert-ish.
On Arrakis.
Yeah, and he was wearing a cloth. And
Did you know it was Chris?
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't. And then Chris turns, and he's like fucking
But there's a
I don't know,
spaceship
Mother
in the
Teresa.
background.
with the cloth around his head.
Also need to explain that we're all watching this video. Chris isn't doing all this live. This is him in a video that we're watching at the end of the thing.
Right. So how did you... Okay, apparently you knew about this. So how did you know about this? What's the situation?
It's funny because the moment Chris said, Tom knows about this, but he doesn't know that he knows about this, I was racking my brain and I was like, it's going to be that. And it was, and that's awesome.
But how do you?
So on
How do I
Sunday,
reconcile this, please?
so on Sunday,
Mm.
Matt and his company HyperRPG, they do a lot of production now. They're not a streaming company anymore. They do a lot of like branded production. And one of the things they do is they have like a mini volume. So instead of like the big volume that Disney has, where you go in, the whole thing surrounds you
That thing
with
they
these
shoot
LED
Mandalorian
walls.
on.
Yeah, this is a small volume where it's like, imagine, like a 15 by 15-foot wall or so of LED wall panel. So they have like a robotic arm and they set the scene up. So like some of the physical props are there and the camera's there, but then the camera tracking is also tied same way like a VR headset is tied to like the way the video moves. When the camera moves, the video moves with it. And so on that LED wall, they have Arrakis. And so they threw sort of like this kind of like mixer, like for like industry people. So like people came and they showed their tech off. And, so I went over and, talked to a bunch of cool people, and they were having people come in and sit down, like, you want to film a scene on Arrakis, and that was like the demo they had set up. So
It's very cool.
But how does Tom know about this?
because Matt posted a clip of it and I saw that Tom had liked it. So I knew that Tom knew about this.
Yeah. That's really cool that you got to do that, because that setup is so sick.
It was so cool, Tom.
I've talked to Matt about it, and it's really awesome for that team because they had somewhat of a success in streaming, but they pivoted to this production thing, and it's been paying off for them. They have worked with some massive clients, like having a like being able to do production like that, but on ostensibly probably a more affordable budget, like, is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really jealous that you got to do it. It's so cool.
Once I filmed that scene, I was like, I got to find a stupid reason to put this onto the show. And then I was like, all right,
now
I'm watching series 8 come in.
Saga 2. Now, Tuna, what did you think had happened? How did you have any thoughts about, like, you saw that and you were like, okay, he must have done it. This must have been what it was. Did you have any idea how he did that?
Oh, I just thought maybe he was in his garage, like,
and
like
he did all of that. Amazing.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was in a different garage.
Yes,
because they converted a garage into a volume. So
I just figured you were in your garage and you wore a shroud and you just put that shit behind you. That's
I mean, in a way, you're not wrong. It just wasn't my garage.
Yeah.
Chris saw a volume on Instagram Shop or whatever he gets his recommendations from.
Yeah,
he's like, fuck it, I gotta buy it.
TikTok, gotta get it.
I gotta buy it.
Right.
8 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It is.
Tom, you left, you went away, you came back a year older.
Yeah.
Along with the podcast.
32. And Chris pointed out, he was like, in 4 years' time, when I'm 36, we'll have and you'll be 40? Is that correct? Is that how the math works?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
When I'm 36, Chris will be 40, right?
Yeah, because I was saying when Tom turns 36, I'll have known him half his life. Because I met Tom when he was 18, when he started working at the Apple Store.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're look, we're closer to we're as close to the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD re-release as we were when that came out to the original Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. So
yeah.
one foot in the dirt is where we are.
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of foot in the dirt, let's talk about today's Pokemon. It's the 420th Pokemon. We finished Float Soul off last season. Cool Pokemon.
Last saga.
Today we have a new Pokemon line. It is the Cherubi Pokemon.
Okay. The Cherubs.
The Cherubis.
The Cheruba.
So this is a grass type Pokemon. Design wise, it looks like two little cherries that are connected through a leaf at the top of them. Very much looks like this could be a Zelda Kokiri style character NPC. Like this totally could be some type of Zelda character.
I agree.
Kind of cute. It's pinkish, not really red and green as far as colors.
Right.
Alex, tell us about its
Sure.
name origin.
So let me tell you something again with the trivia section. Very minimal. Not a lot of
Sparse.
trivia. Cherubi can be spawned in all existing tree-based mechanics that can spawn Pokemon. Honey trees, headbutt trees, berry trees, as well as shaking trees. In games where Cherubi is available. Cherubi appears to be based on a cherry. Cherubi may be a combination of cherry, cherubic, innocent or childlike, and ruby, a shade of red.
I
Thanks
like
for
it.
coming to my TED
Yeah.
Talk.
So the biology on this, I think, is actually the most
The-
interesting part.
The
We don't
biology.
usually get into the biology,
Yeah.
but the biology
the
on this one.
biology. Yeah,
So
talk to me.
I mentioned it's like two heads, but it's actually like you got the main head and then like
Mhm.
the twin that didn't develop in the womb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the
Mhm.
eyes are closed on it and the mouth is open, but the head is,
Mhm.
I'm going to read this verbatim. The second head is vestigial in terms of function, but it contains nutrients that contribute to Cherubi's growth as its initial source of food. So basically, it's just still like feeding off of this. This is very like, twin in the room that's like absorbing the other twin. Very weird. Also weirder, the second head is apparently edible and has a sweet taste.
Mm.
Several
Whole
Pokemon such
thing
as
is
Starly have
edible,
been
but-
seen trying to pluck it off. When the second head begins to bloom and wilt, it means that Cherubi is close to evolving. The second head detaches after it evolves, which becomes food for other creatures. Very weird Pokemon.
Very
Cool,
weird,
though.
folks. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you a
Um,
Pokedex entry.
Yeah, go for it.
It evolves by sucking the energy out of the small ball where it had been storing nutrients. This is a fucking twisted
Wait,
Pokemon.
so it's also sucking on a ball?
the little one, the little head.
Oh, okay.
It is pretty weird.
You were right. That was more interesting than its actual trivia.
Mhm.
I got a soft spot for this one simply because I'm a big Cherry Haribo fan, and this looks like
Okay.
the gummy cherries.
Yeah.
So that for me is a plus. Looks tasty. I'd eat this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, but other than that, not feeling it.
Yeah. So then let's
it's
take
fine.
a look. Let's take a look at our notes.
Let's
Let's pull
take
up
a
the
look.
list. Tom, you
So
missed
what did we?
a
Yeah,
few,
Floatzel. Yeah, I like Floatzel where it's at. I don't hate that.
but it's pre-evolution,
Oh.
Tom. Weasel hit number 9.
Yeah,
Got
yep.
into the top 10.
Crack
Great
the
call.
top 10.
Happy for
Great
that.
call, really? Wow.
Yeah, I really think that that first that's a great Pokemon.
And what was
then
the other one we did, Alex? Was it Picharisu? At 14?
It was the
Yes, that's a mouse one, right? Fuck,
think-
have I been gone for 3? I missed
But you've missed 3 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Picharisu.
Oh, yeah,
it was the
thing.
Pikachu knockoff, which
Yes.
is it's good, but it's not,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put this one around the Burmy area. Around the Combi.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that
Combi
too.
Burmy area.
I like
I'd
that
probably
too.
I'd put her there.
Do we like it more or better than
Yeah.
the B? Is the question.
I think I like it more than Combi, but I wouldn't put it above Vespa Queen.
I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right,
Pretty
coming in at number
23.
23, Cherubi. We are now up to 34 Pokemon on our list.
Yeah. Wow.
Great. Well,
Saga 2 off with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, Alex and I mean, look, you went pretty off the grid.
I was off grid.
You were off the grid. So like, I really don't know a whole lot about your trip. You didn't
I
post
thought you were
a
about to
lot.
say I really don't care.
No, I'm
But go
just
ahead.
like Tom was like, oh, we should do a real quick episode tonight, right? Because he wants to get some game time.
Sure.
And I'm like,
Sure.
Tom, I haven't heard a thing from you for 3 weeks. Catch us
We
up.
saw some pics.
Oh, I know. There were some pics and there's
some stuff going on. All right,
but
Tom,
he was
catch
unplugged.
us up. All right, catch us up, Tom.
It
he wasn't that unplugged. He was fucking watching Survivor.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, you got to watch Survivor.
Good stuff. Tell you
Survivor's
what,
great.
Nothing better than sitting in a hot tub that smells like eggs and watching Survivor. I tell you that.
Oh, sulfur. Yeah.
The sulfur
Mhm.
smell there. Taking a
Mhm.
shower,
Mhm.
fucking miserable experience.
Mhm.
Um, it's not that bad. You get a bit used to it.
All right. So where'd you go? What'd you do? What happened? What
Yeah.
situation?
Where did
So I
you come
wasn't-
from? Where did you go?
I wasn't actually offline too much. I simply wasn't using my shooting photos and taking photos time by taking generic stuff. I had my fucking twin reflex camera that Brooke had got me. If you've ever seen them, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but it's a if you've seen those boxy cameras that have the literal two lenses on the front,
Yeah.
it's that. So it's an
Mhm.
actual film camera. So I was using that, uh, getting my money's worth out of that. And then I
Mhm.
was also shooting like actual footage with my phone. Like I used the ProRes
Oh, cool.
thing and shot a bunch of stuff with that. So I spent Brooke was taking the pictures for Instagram and the selfies and all of that. So I used my
Mhm.
time a bit differently there. But
Mhm.
yeah, went to Iceland. Incredible country. I will say
Yeah, went to Iceland.
once you see One Rock, you've seen them all.
Okay.
No, it wasn't like that. The topography was actually in parts really interesting, like the diversity. And then
Tom, I
also,
got to be honest with you, not to
yeah,
cut you off, but I am going to cut you off. And I get that is part of Iceland, right? And that is some of the draw there. But I don't think I've ever heard someone come home from a vacation, and I think the second thing they have said being, so the topography was incredible. I mean, it's something to be seen. I don't know that I've ever, but
I
continue.
mean that's part of the draw for sure. No,
Sure,
it was a
sure.
great trip. Saw the Northern
Yeah,
Lights
very cool. I'm very
multiple
jealous of that. Got
times.
to be honest.
I joined the actually during our first viewing of the
Mm,
Northern Lights, I
mm.
joined the ex-girlfriend club because I got engaged. Thank you
Yeah.
very
Hell yeah.
much.
Congratulations. I wasn't
Thank you.
sure if you were gonna announce that because I hadn't seen
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Was that the soundboard or?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, really? I didn't see any hand movements.
Oh no,
Uh,
I did clapping on the soundboard.
Mhm.
But it said
Um,
clapping. I didn't realize it was like
it's a
sarcastic
one
clapping.
hand. Amazing. Yeah, so no, I hadn't I'm talking about it. Yeah, I'm not hiding anything. Yeah, that had been my plan for a long time. I was very stressed out because it's the lights are not something that you can see all the time.
True.
Um
True.
and only come in certain conditions.
Right. Did
And
the ex-girlfriend expect it? Did she know it was coming?
so here's a really fucking funny story.
Okay.
So she was simultaneously surprised and also like had an inkling.
Okay.
Um, and but she was surprised in the moment for sure. I have a video of that, which is really funny. Um, but yeah, I had planned it for a long time, was stressed about the lights.
Mm,
But I learned about her ring size because I texted you guys. I was like, "How did you guys
mm.
fucking find out ring sizes?" And Chris was saying about his. He was like, I measured her finger while she was sleeping with the
That's what they
pieces."
tell you to do. You get a piece of string, you wrap it around, and then
Yeah.
you just measure the length of the string that it takes to wrap around the finger.
So I was like, I don't even know where we have string. Like I just was like, I'm not doing
Where
that.
do I get string?
Where do I get string? And then like I didn't want her to wake up and be like, "Why are you putting string around my finger?" Then she'd
Teresa's
know.
narcoleptic. She sleeps like the dead. It was very
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, I didn't have that luxury. But anyway, we were driving one time, and Brooke, she had some old jewelry that someone was gonna like change into a ring, like it was an earring that was gonna be shaped into a ring,
Mhm.
and we were driving one time, and she was trying out her rings on her fingers, and she went, "Oh my." She's like, "I hate the fact that my fingers aren't all the same size. Like this ring fits
Mm,
on this finger, but it doesn't fit on this, right?"
mhm,
And I
mhm,
was like, perfect time to drop the question. I was like, "Oh,
mm.
what ring size are you?"
Oh,
And she's
what?
like, and she was so focused on her fingers, and she was so focused on being frustrated by the fact that it didn't fit on the right finger and all this. And she
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, well, my ring finger is this size, but this I think is this size." Da, 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 da." I was like, great, I have organically received the information I need.
Did you
Mhm.
write it
And
down so you didn't forget? Like, is that
no,
what
it
you were
was
like?
it was an easy number to
Okay,
remember. I think it's like a pretty standard like woman's ring size.
I see.
And so anyway, um, with that happens, and then so I asked her, I was like, because a friend of ours told me a couple of weeks after that happened and was like, oh, so she says that you asked about ring size. And I was like, I don't know why she would think that that meant anything because of the context of the situation. And Brooke revealed to me after we got engaged, she was like, oh, I was just putting hints out there. She was like, I
Mm,
verbally was talking about it to kind of see how you'd
nice.
react. I was like,
Nice.
we just seen Dune, so I was like, you Benny Gesserided me. Like I thought that it was the Messiah, but it's been planted here for thousands of years. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, got engaged under the lights. That was great.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and we were staying near the capital city of Reykjavik. Um, we went there multiple times. We ended up because we were initially in a more remote place, and then we had an apartment in the city for a couple of days. Everything you've heard about Iceland is what is correct. It's beautiful there. It is very expensive. Food is very expensive. Alcohol is very expensive, and those are the two main things that you're spending money on.
Sure.
Um, the weather is crazy. Like you'll be in a part of you'll be driving and it will be bright and sunny, and then 2 minutes later you'll be in an area that is pissing down with rain, and then a couple more, in another area it's like snow again. Saw some beautiful um waterfalls and walked into a gorge.
hmm
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Had a great
That's
time.
awesome.
We had seals in our backyard in the country because it was a farm, and then there was a beach in the bay because it was the Atlantic Ocean cutting into the thing. And
hmm
had seals like literally like in the water there that we like could see every day. The Icelandic hot dog, some unsnacked. The Icelandic hot dog, amazing. That
What
is
is an Icelandic hot dog?
so an Icelandic hot dog. It's a uh, hot dog cooked in like broiled in beer, like boiled
Oh,
in
okay.
beer.
A beer boiled hot dog.
So that's how they cook it. And then when you get it, they put underneath so the first thing they put in the bun, uh,
mm,
cut up raw onion and
Great.
fried onion, like
Great.
crispy fried onion.
Hell yeah.
Put those two in, then you put the hot dog, and then it's ketchup, mustard, and then they call it hot dog mustard. I'm still unsure of what this third thing they use is, but it's
okay.
brown. It looks like a gravy. It doesn't taste like gravy. It honestly doesn't have much of a taste, but
Interesting.
Brown
together,
mustard.
I was gonna say,
no,
is
no,
it
no,
like a
it's not
is
brown
it like
mustard.
a
Brown mustard.
coupon kind of
No,
mustard?
no,
Okay.
no, no,
No,
no.
but
All right.
It's almost like a mayo, where it's just kind of like a
interesting.
thing to have.
Like an aioli.
Um, yeah, fucking amazing. And if you go, the place to go is there's this. If you want to get one, the place to go is this kind of just like road, like little shack, basically in the middle of the city, and it always has a long line.
Mhm.
They were fucking awesome. Yeah, food generally there is great. It's just very expensive. Yeah,
Mm,
posed.
okay. All right.
Brooke, Brooke's sister had
Under
a
the Aurora?
yeah under the
Hell
aurora.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So
That's sick.
yeah, and we actually we saw it a bunch more times. We had friends that live in the building with us. They came out for the second week, and kind of like got an Airbnb near us, which was great. And then when we got back, Brooke's sister had a baby. So
Wow.
now
Mm.
Big
I
couple of
won't have,
weeks.
yeah, big couple of weeks.
You
Yeah.
come back and you come
You
back
thought
and
your
do
family was
this.
getting bigger and they got even bigger.
Yeah, it got even
Mhm.
bigger. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we are very excited, very happy. Yeah.
Uncle
Cool.
Tom coming in.
And you know what? fuck it, this is the venue to do it. I'd love for both of you to be in my groomsmen party. You know, oh, did you hear Brooke? She just went, wow. Yeah, no,
you also already asked me 2 days ago
what? I texted you that?
when we were playing Helldivers.
Yeah.
You literally said this exact line that you just said right now.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You
I
said to
had
me,
already.
I'm not sure if this is the venue for it, but I would like you to be in my... And then you asked me if I sent any gifts
Right.
to my would-be groomsmen, and I said no, not to ask them. I gave them gifts at the wedding.
Well, I hadn't asked Chris yet, so it was abundant.
No,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you're like, you've got engagement brain, apparently. That you're just
he's got travel brain too.
you got something on because you didn't remember asking me shit.
Oh yeah, I haven't. It feels like it hasn't been like any like time to recover since we got back because we had to. It was get back, had to drive to my folks, grab the dog, come back next day, see the baby, and then work happened, and I'm leaving for PAX tomorrow, which is why we're recording early. So it's just been like I haven't had like just like a day. So I do have a bit of brain fog, I think, from all of it. But anyway,
riding high.
But yeah, started out this podcast 8 years ago, not getting invited to a wedding. 8 years later,
God,
you didn't get invited to either wedding.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Maybe I should.
Maybe you should pull back that.
To be fair, no one got invited to my wedding.
That's not true. There were people there.
Well, there were people at Chili's.
Hey, look, I'm not the guy who invited people to Chili's.
Brooke just
I'm not the guy. I mean, you had people there. We were not invited. Did you get an invite to Chili's, Tom? I did not.
Brooke just said she was like, Chris and Tuna don't have to come, but Therese and Britt have to come. Yeah. So
Avery doesn't have to come either. Thank God.
Oh, no kids. Just
kids.
Putting that. No kids.
Good.
No children.
No, you think? Trust me. You don't.
We're trying to have some. We're trying to have some fun.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah.
What have you guys already been talking about that? Do you know what you're gonna do, when you're gonna do it, or
yeah,
we have absolutely no idea?
We're thinking October next year. Just because of the vibes, and we feel like that's a good gap between the proposal and
good year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half. But
we're solid year and a half. Solid.
But we're also like thinking if it was like 2026, whatever, just give us more time to kind of prep, because there's a lot obviously that goes into this. Even with us trying to do something much smaller, it's not going to be very traditional. We're not planning to have a ceremony and then a reception. Like, it's just going to be, we're married, we're having a party kind of thing. No kids. Brooks,
I'll be honest with you, I don't know any wedding that had kids. I do know weddings that had kids, but I've never been to one that had kids.
There you go. They're the good kind. They're the fun kind.
So what about the new baby that's going to be born?
Huh?
The new baby that was just born.
That was just born. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
staying home.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. So you're gonna get.
It'll be almost 2.
Yeah, that baby can stay home. So wait, so you're gonna get married, and then you'll be married for a bit, and then you're just gonna have a party with us?
No, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
I don't know that specifics, but we want it to be like, either we get married and then come meet people, like courthouse, and then come meet people for a shindig, or if we just do it not in a separate part of,
but just at the shindig.
Yeah, like at the shindig. Like everyone shows up to the shindig, we get married. That's
the one thing Therese and I were like, if we could have done it in the Chili's instead of across the street from the Chili's, it would have been even better.
That's what I did. That's what mine was. Mine was at wedding reception, and the whole thing was
you
at
had
the
a whole
same place.
ceremony and everything. He's saying like it's just going to be the courthouse marriage,
and then get up and move to another space when you did the reception and ceremony.
You went downstairs.
Okay. Still, it's a vibe shift.
It's still different. Yeah.
A vibe shift. It was not a vibe. Tom, we were out on a deck, right?
Yeah.
Got married, right?
Yeah.
Did the reception, got married, went inside for cocktail hour. Yes, this is fancy. Went inside for cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Everyone had cocktails and food.
I remember
Then
it
we
well.
walked downstairs, right? One
Yep.
flight of stairs into the dance area.
Yeah.
And that was
The
it.
the dance central ballroom.
Yeah.
Regardless, the vibes of
All the
each
same
of
vibe.
no,
All
no,
the same
no,
vibe.
no.
All
The
the same vibe.
you're telling me the ceremony was the same vibe as the dance floor.
No.
No,
Tom,
but I guess
Tom,
I'm
I'm with you on
confused
this. I
about
understand the difference. Alex doesn't want it to seem like he had a traditional wedding. He had a very traditional wedding.
not very true. That was
It
not
was an
traditional.
incredibly exactly traditional wedding. He's trying for some reason to make it sound like low stress, like it wasn't a thing. It was an expensive big thing that they spent a ton of time planning for. Whereas yours is just going to be the party, and maybe you'll do the like legalese there, but
Yeah.
maybe you won't. Like I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't, then you're doing the same thing I did, except you're just not doing it at Chili's.
I want
Wait a second, so-
people that have already had a drink, then they're drinking when we do it, and then the moment it's done, I want a plate of food in
served-
front of their mouth.
Yeah, that's what we. I mean,
But not getting up, moving to do.
Okay,
a
Alex,
getting
cocktail
up?
hour
With your
and then
okay,
moving to
let's
do
all right,
this.
all right.
let's
So let me
rewrite.
get this
Let's
straight. So
rewrite
hold
what
on,
actually
hold on.
happened
No,
here.
no. Let me just. Can I just say what I think Tom is looking for? Forget the deck. Forget the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
We're in the area. The band's ready. The dance floor's there. Boom. Everyone's sitting at their tables. You would like, instead of sitting at your tables, you and Brooke, the way that me and Brittany sat, we do a quick boom, 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 vow, married. Congratulations. We're not moving. We're not going into cocktail hour. We're not going into here. This is the room. No one is leaving this room. This is the only room. You're all sitting at your tables, drinking, eating. We're married. Here's a plate of food. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's not that different.
It's incredibly different.
It's
With your
not
wedding,
that different.
first of all, we were at a different location where we took pictures with everyone. Everyone's in
That
suits
was a
and
that
tuxes
was
and
a
everything
total
like that.
that
No, but
I'm
that's
not
a whole
including
part
that.
of the wedding. You went to
No, you don't need to do that. That's a
no, but
whole
you
thing.
did do it. You did
Yeah,
do
I
it,
did
and
that.
then you
Yeah,
buzzed
yeah.
all of us to the actual wedding
bust you
venue
all.
where
Yeah,
only
yeah,
the
yeah.
wedding party was, and the wedding
Correct.
party people. Then we were in the
Yes.
reception area, and we did like some
Yeah.
drinks and cocktails and stuff before the wedding.
Right.
Then when the
right.
wedding time came, after we
Yeah.
had choreographed the order with everyone to come in, we all went in,
Yeah.
stood there. You did a full
Yes.
normal ceremony where you had everyone come
Yes.
in, everyone was in,
Yep.
and then you did the full ceremony, and then after it's like we're gonna go to a. Although it was at the same place where you got married, it was in a different location. We had to go in. It was
literally inside the
different-
doors. It went from the deck to the inside.
You couldn't have had a more traditional wedding.
No,
other
that's not
than
true.
like
Going to a church and having it at a different location. Our friend, if you recall, got married at the museum, and then we had a reception later somewhere else. If you remember that friend. I also had another friend that got married on the docks in
But you
Newport,
got
Rhode
married
Island.
at a venue that holds both. It wasn't. You still got married at a wedding venue that had two distinct locations built into it for that.
I'll put it this way: every wedding that I've been to has been exactly what you have described.
Yes.
Right. But you're just getting rid of the
same.
ceremony location and the cocktail location, and you're putting it into one room and having it all done.
It's not about the one room. I want you. I can't believe.
Alex,
I cannot believe.
Tom, do you expect is everyone supposed to wear like specific suits? Are you going to be like,
different. We specifically had a black tie preferred wedding. I've been to weddings where that wasn't a thing. You could have gotten rid of the black tie at our wedding. I didn't need to. That was a totally different situation.
The point is that you had a black tie at your wedding in the traditional form.
Tom,
you can't just
had the
argue
wedding party in advance. Go to this other location where they did photos.
Well,
first.
if everything about my wedding was different, it wouldn't have been traditional.
No, all I'm talking about is
I'm not including a very specific traditional part of a big wedding, so that I don't make it sound as big of a deal as it was.
Right. So it wasn't
then
that
I can
big
remove the aspect of
I want to
travel
put it this
from my
way.
wedding.
It's totally fine to have your wedding like that.
Listen, you're damn right it is. Second of all, we served McDonald's.
He's like, I'm still paying that wedding off.
Yeah,
I'm still paying that wedding off.
We served McDonald's. We served McDonald's.
Is this Donald Trump in the White House? What the fuck is going on? You serve McDonald's.
We were one of the people, right? We were one of the plebs. We were down there with the. Okay.
There is no fucking way on God's green earth that at the wedding you described, you then serve McDonald's. That would have been the fucking funniest prank to have pulled on the older people.
gonna toot my own horn here.
Yeah.
The food at our wedding was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. So all that I'm saying is that you want to get rid of the movement of the areas. You want one thing. But you're still so if you have the one room situation, are you going to have someone there to marry you, or are you just going to walk in and be like, we're married, let's party?
That we haven't. That is going to depend on stuff.
All right. I mean, the whole vibe, the vibe thing, you throw me off with the vibe. I mean, it was the same.
Didn't you also get married in October, Alex?
I did.
Maybe you guys saw the same day.
Date? Yeah, what's the date?
Let me see. Let me see.
Do you not remember?
No, I know the date.
Well,
I just want to see if it's October 21st, but I want to see if it falls on October 21st. No, it falls on a Tuesday.
No one's going to a Tuesday wedding.
Of 2025. No one's going to a Tuesday wedding. So you can't have the same anniversary as us. Well, you could.
Well, yeah, we could do if we did the courthouse before, we could do that on Tuesday and do the thing. Anyway, I wasn't sure. Look, all I'm saying is that like,
listen, I'm not a fan. I don't give a shit. All that I'm saying is that the vibe.
It won't be.
I'm not going to be.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be like everyone take your seats. Everyone's walking up to the front. We're doing a ceremony. Yeah. People are sitting there silent. Then they're slowly transitioning into fun party time by having the cocktail hour, which gets you a little going. Then,
which, by the way, Tom, can we just briefly go over what Alex's wedding was? First, we met at the hotel. No. Like we met at the hotel. Alex got everyone ready. They had like the photographers here. Alex getting his suit put on by his dad. Very traditional wedding.
None of that fucking
by the
shit.
Way, remember when Alex just mentioned? Myself. Remember when Alex just mentioned another friend going to a museum for the wedding? We went to the Vanderbilt Museum to take photos, where he then traveled with the wedding parties to have photos taken for the Vanderbilt Museum. So here we are at the Vanderbilt Museum. Here's a notable K-man of the Unranked podcast.
My God, I've never seen someone.
So Alex, we did go to a museum for that. And then you had us all.
I'm not saying none of this happened. I'm not saying none of this happened. I'm saying that if you trimmed,
Tom, here we go. Look how many seats there are, Tom. There's so many seats at this location. And then we're inside, and we've got food.
All I'm saying, if you trimmed all that, and you just had the venue,
cut out 2/3 of my wedding. We're at one location, and we just got married quickly and had a party.
All right, we're clarifying something. The only people that did the whole let's get dressed in the hotel room and then let's go to the bed. That was only for the bridal party. The whole
wedding.
But that's not the guests weren't there. I'm talking about I'm talking about his actual the party. The ceremony to the party was from 6 to midnight. Done. 7 to midnight. I don't remember, but it was.
It's just funny. What I'm understanding
here, that other stuff.
What I'm understanding here is that much like the rest of Tuna's life, comparative to maybe me and Chris's life, is that traditional to you is like in Gregorian times. And then
get real.
Yeah. Or in the church, it's a 3-hour ceremony.
There's no church.
That's what I'm saying is to you, that is traditional. And you're like, I'm having a very modern wedding. Whereas Chris and I probably view.
I'm saying that if you trim all the other bullshit that happened, right? Going to the Vanderbilt Museum for the pictures, getting ready in the hotel room.
If you get
everything that occurred for the average guest, happened in the same location. You parked, you drove, you parked, you were done. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I don't know why you felt the need to make that point or try to make
that point. I wasn't trying to make that point. I was trying to clarify what you meant by vibes. This is how this started. The
vibes will be different. The vibes
will be very different, Tom.
Thank you, Chris. He's making me feel insane. He's making me feel insane.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
If you got rid of this, if you got rid of that, if you got rid of this thing, if you got rid of that,
this is the chaotic energy.
This is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Anyway,
Tom, it's been too unargumentative without you here.
Oh God, really?
Weeks, it's been a little too agreeable, the conversation. We really need you need a third person in so that there's always someone who's gonna. Once you add that third person, it's like too many opinions for people.
Absolutely.
Someone's going to disagree.
The tribal power.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so
Incredible.
that has been my life the last couple of weeks, and then going to PAX this weekend, which I'm very excited about. Going to be, if you're going to be at PAX, or if you're at PAX right now, because this will be coming out around then, keep an eye out. Go check out all the Giant Bomb, because I'm working with the Giant Bomb crew this weekend. Go check out all the Giant Bomb panels and other things. Yeah.
It was also your birthday.
Yeah, honestly, dude, completely forgot about it the morning of. And the only reason I remembered, or the reason that I eventually remembered, was because in my head I said, I'm so excited to see Dune 2 again, because it was the day of going to see Dune 2 with my parents and my sister. And I was so excited for it. And so I was like, oh, that's happening on my birthday. That was the next thought that I had. And then I was like, oh, right. That's today.
But you didn't
It's
get
my
any
birthday.
texts. You didn't get any. Was my text the first text that you got wishing you a happy birthday?
Yes.
What?
And
Because I didn't
yeah,
text you till mid morning.
yeah. I got some. The
Mom
frustrating
and
thing,
dad, nothing.
I was with my parents.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough. Fair enough.
and then the other problem with it is that getting when I went international, I didn't do the international planner. Like, I got an eSIM from Iceland. It was much cheaper and you get much more data, but it had fucked up my numbers so that people texting me weren't like, Chris, for some reason, Tuna, you are fine. You're still Tuna Marinello in my thing, but Chris is now just his number again. And like, I have to, I don't know, relink it. You're in my contacts, so if I delete the text thread, I can type Christian Humes and text you again, it will be there. But on my birthday, I got a couple of texts from fucking random fucking numbers. And I'm like, I have no idea who you are, because all my
That's
shit is
funny.
fucked. So
So you just say
thanks.
thank you and move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what I did. That's what
Yeah.
I did.
You play anything while you were gone?
Not
Anything
one.
new?
Yeah, so I didn't play much while I was gone. I did quick Helldivers, easy matches here and there, just to get to, like, when I had downtime. That was really all I could do.
On what, the
which was,
Steam Deck?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Well, we saw that because we also dove
Yeah.
and saw you on, and we were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
No,
I didn't have any way to communicate, obviously. So
you
no
text
mic.
you would oh
No, like he didn't have a microphone.
yeah.
or it wouldn't have been an ideal situation.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
I mean,
no,
not really, not really. We have people we play with. If we jump into a random match, 9 times out of 10, these people aren't talking.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're talking
Yeah,
to
I
each
could've
other. I
done
feel
that.
like sometimes we're giving them a show. The other night, Tom, you and I talked for 40 minutes in that match, and they
I'll be
didn't say
honest,
a
Alex.
word. And they
I feel
said
like I should
nothing.
go into private mode. It feels weird, actually, sometimes, like chatting in the game.
It does. They had a 40-minute.
I literally asked
They listened
Tuna
to a 40-minute.
to
They
be my
listened to an episode.
groomsman in
Yeah.
front of.
Yeah,
That's
they
amazing.
listened. They listened
really
to
good.
a 40-minute episode of this.
Well, they might
podcast.
have it disabled on their end, which would mean they wouldn't
Yeah,
hear you.
sure. Or they're. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Anyway, new thing that I played, though, in the time since then, I've actually spent quite a bit of time with about 10 hours based on what Steam is telling me, with Dragon's Dogma 2, a new RPG coming out from Capcom. I was very excited about this one because I really liked the first Dragon's Dogma, which was, I don't know if cult classic would be the word, but it came out the same year as Skyrim. So
I can't
Skyrim
believe
kind
you're
of
diving into another RPG while you're still doing Final Fantasy VII.
I have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to get to. Well, here's the deal. I'm not vibing with Dragon's Dogma 2,
Okay.
unfortunately. I'm actually
Too many venues.
Yes.
Yeah, too many. I needed one. Yeah, I'm going from here to here, and the cocktail wrist thing. Honestly, there is a lot of that because it's a big RPG. I'm probably going to, after the review and content period, probably going to dip off of it unless something drastic changes, which is I'm really disappointed by because I was really excited for this one. For everything it does well, there is something I really dislike about it. for people that don't know, the kind of special sauce with Dragon's Dogma is the combat. The combat is very action oriented. So you have like a heavy attack and a standard attack. But if you hold down, kind of like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where if you held down one of the trigger buttons, you could pull off like a big move that did something specific. And then there's different classes and stuff, so it's a lot about the combat, and then you're fighting like ogres and medusas and all of these kind of creatures, and you can climb on them and like dismember. Like if you attack the arm enough, it'll cut its arm off. They fall over and you can climb on them. So there was this really cool combat scenario where we're facing this fucking troll, and like we were attacking it, and it was slowly like backing up, and it was right on the edge of like a cliff face. And so I just ran up to its leg and grabbed its leg and pushed it over, and it fell. And I was like, that was cool. Like anytime you're fighting like a big monster like that, that's where the game really shines. But everything else about it is like really underbaked. I think they needed another year, not only to, first off, it runs kind of like shit. I'm playing it on PC, and nothing I can do gets me more than like 30 frames per second. And when I'm in towns, it's like 20 to 30 frames. And I'm on a pretty nice machine, I would say. Most people are probably going to have that issue. And then I've heard that on console, it doesn't run well either. And that doesn't help when it's all about precise actions. When you're climbing, you got to get it just right. All these kind of mechanics like that. And then, yeah, it just, I have actually a note, Dragon's Dogma thoughts. Yeah. So, it's way more like Breath of the Wild in that way, or Tears of the Kingdom, where it was like experimental. You're trying to find places, you're trying to figure out, there's this thing over there I can see. How do I get there? Like, how do I do it? And we've talked about in Breath of the Wild and things like that, how it's a shame that everything has to work. So there can only be so many interesting designs you can do. Like all the dungeons and stuff don't live up to the past games for that fact. But this is a game where I've seen what that would look like if you had kind of this puzzle world to kind of navigate through, but you are very restricted in some places. So it's like, you can go to this masquerade, and but you have to like go to it at night, and you have to like find the specific person. But I don't know how to trigger the day-night cycle. It says like, be there between midnight and 4 a.m. There's no clock in the game to explain to me like what the actual time is. I just kind of have to guess. Sometimes the masquerade isn't on a certain night, but it doesn't tell me like what fucking time, what day it is. And it's just very kind of clumsily built, I think. And all of the stuff with like trying to figure out quests and like the fun stuff it's trying to have you play around with and tackle situations in any way you want. Like it asks for a lot of stealth missions. It's like you got to sneak into the castle and like find these find some evidence for this thing. But there's no like crouch button, even like there's no way to sneak. You just have to like run through and hope you don't get detected. And when I did get detected, I get thrown in jail and I have to escape jail. But I was able to, once I got out of my cell, like run around, and the guards didn't stop me. They just like let me leave. And so it's this game that really is trying to have this interesting kind of natural open world, and in the combat and stuff it succeeds, but when it comes to all the other stuff it really kind of fails. The story's cool though. I'm at least interested in that, but yeah, I'm running into too many things that I dislike and too many places where I think it really falls short, and it's outweighing like the fun I'm having because of its design.
Yeah.
So anyway,
what do you think the game length is?
So I think our reviewer beat it in 40 hours.
Yes.
I don't I don't know if they were doing like how much
Man,
side stuff they were doing.
with the cost of these games to make them, just stop. These companies should really stop making games more than 20 hours long all the time.
I
Just
I
like
agree.
really, like people will be really happy even if it's only 20 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, what are we
I mean,
doing?
I think you could
Especially if it's
probably
not that much fun.
I think if you could probably well, it's one of those things where it's like, he might have spent a ton of time. I didn't read the review yet, so he might have spent a ton of time just running around like fighting new monsters, which is ostensibly like the funnest thing to do in the game, from what I've played at least. So he might have been having like that kind of fun in that, but the story might be quick. Like you could probably, I don't know, you could maybe mainline the story shorter. At least it's not like 100 hours. I think people are gonna I'm curious as to what people's I know that we gave it a positive review. I'm curious as to see where it lands. But yeah, for me, I'm honestly very let down because I really like the first one. And honestly, with my experience, if people had to ask me, I'd be like, look, it's obviously a much prettier game and there's some really cool stuff that this new one does, but I think the first one is like a way better
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the new one that I played, and let me know if you've been playing it and what you think, because I'm curious to hear if I'm like an outlier.
Well, is this game out?
It'll be out by the time the podcast goes out. It
Okay.
comes out on Friday. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm taking it you didn't download Balatro yet.
I haven't downloaded Balatro.
Would have been good for you on that plane.
Yeah, I might download it for I'm taking a train to Boston, so I might download it for that, but I probably will
Bring
have
it to
some
PAX.
Oh, people there will be playing it, so I'll probably get some secondhand like, oh, well, now I have to play. Yeah, and you can play against each other, right?
No, it's a single
Oh,
player
okay.
game. They should. I want them to add like a multiplayer mode. They should do Alex Texas Hold'em style. So like we each get our own jokers, but like we have a shared deck or something like that. They
That's
should
pretty
do
good.
that for multiplayer. That would
Sure.
be sick. They're
Yeah.
working on DLC. They just announced actually they passed 1 million downloads. So
Yep. Congrats.
I didn't play anything different this week than more Balatro and Helldivers. I have to say that I'm not nearing the end of my Balatro run, but I'm nearing my goal, which is to unlock all the decks. I have now beaten all but 2 of the difficulties that remain on one of the decks, so I only have 2 decks left to unlock in the game. So once I win with all the decks, then I've beaten the final 2 difficulties, but they're getting tough, getting really hard now. That being said, I am starting to be like, okay, gotta put a new game in the pipeline here. But yeah, in Helldivers 2, more new stuff still coming all the time. I finally fought. Have either of you guys seen the flying Terminids yet?
No.
So I finally fought the flying Terminids. They're still like not popping up that often for people. So I played a decent amount and hadn't really seen them much until I finally saw them yesterday. Not fun. I mean, it's cool, but like, fuck, man. Like, fuck them. Like they said, flying Terminids really changes things up for you. Especially like the napalm isn't as useful because if they're coming up, and they're in the air when the napalm goes off, they might not get hit by it. So those kind of strikes, like the flamethrower is not going to be as effective on them because it's the reach isn't as good. So you kind of have to like change up your gameplay with them. And there's like weird things that are leaking about the game. Like it seems like we're going to expect more mutations among the Terminids. Seems like what we're doing, the what Super Earth is doing to the Terminids is apparently causing them to evolve and change. So
that's pretty fucking cool.
It is pretty cool.
The way that they're rolling this out is like what live service I think should be. Rather than like here's a huge massive lore drop every 3 months. It should just be stuff that is intrinsically linked to the gameplay that is being peppered in throughout and is the fucking messages that you get from the Terminauts or is that what the automatons?
Yeah, the automatons.
Like the theories that people have behind them, like it just creates like this meta narrative that is so fucking
Yeah,
cool.
because it seems like the automatons aren't actually going after Super Earth. It also seems like it seems kind of like maybe the Terminids were also like not necessarily on those planets and Super Earth, and they had humans there because there were these like weird outpost stations. The bugs aren't
Right.
making those, right?
Right.
So it's like, is Super Earth wiping out other human colonies by dropping the bugs on them, and then the bugs infest the planet, and then we're
Oh.
going and wiping out the bugs after they did their job, kind of a thing. And it seems like the automatons are actually trying to get back to their origin planet. They're not coming for
Right.
Super. So it seems, are we the bad guys?
I mean, it's very clear that we are, but to how bad are we is the real question. Yeah. Cool game, man. Fucking
Yeah.
sick game.
I will say, I'm still not over like that drop moment. Like I'm still every time like you start a mission and that music kicks in and you start
Yeah.
dropping. I would have thought by now, like a month and a half of playing this game that I get tired of it, and it's like it kicks in. I'm like, let's fucking go.
Let's
I'm ready.
fucking go,
Let's
dude.
fucking go to war, boys.
Yes.
Let's go. Ah, man, it's really good. It's really,
I
really
played
good.
when I played matches here and there over the last couple of weeks portably, but when Tuna and I played the other night and I got on my fucking computer and had the ultra wide, I was just like, this game is just so it's made if it's for fans of cinema, honestly.
Yeah.
It really
It is.
you get absorbed into that
Yeah.
world.
I think the next like battle pack like of stuff comes in April, they announced. But the current one will never like expire. So they're just
Yeah.
adding it and then you can unlock it late, So like
Yeah.
that's awesome. And hey, new weapons and shit. Great. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I'm really curious as to how much they have had, because it seems that they were super prepared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like other than the connection issues, which are unfortunately still persistent in some ways.
Seems like it's worse on PC.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't had a connection problem in a long time on
Mm.
PlayStation. So, and it seems like you also had a lot of updates to do when you tried to play.
Yeah, I had like a 30 gig update, which had already downloaded, but then I had to verify and all that. Yeah, I mean, the moment they announce fucking cross progression, because you currently don't have that. Like, if I were to buy it and play it on PlayStation, I couldn't carry everything over. They
Yeah.
said that will happen. When that happens, if we're still playing, like, I'm probably just gonna have it on PlayStation 2 because I would love to just sit at the couch and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
What
the
you
other
got,
night
Tunes?
too, Tom and I were talking about we're not really a tabloid podcast, but we were talking about
Oh,
Tab it
Kate,
up.
Kate Middleton
Okay.
and the whole bullshit going on there.
yeah.
Sure.
So a new video came out of her
Yeah.
walking with
Update.
William.
Kate
Right.
update. Kate update.
Yeah.
Right.
Kate
Right.
update.
So the Kate
Yeah,
update
it was like that
is
video in Signs when the alien like goes across the bushes.
so she's walking with William, right? And TMZ was like, it's 100% her. Now, purportedly, TMZ is walking that back, saying it might not be her. It might be a
Oh,
body
man.
double. It might be a body double. Yes. Yes. Chick, can you believe it? The PR team at the Palace must really, they got some crack fucking people on this. It's unbelievable. I don't
Wait, so because this reminds me of the Melania body double like shit. And there was photos where I was like,
so funny.
that isn't her. Like, there's
It's so
no
funny to
way
me.
that is her. Do you think that was the thing? Like, do you think they had body doubles for her at points?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the whole thing is so funny to me. Like, I get it that
I mean,
like
Boeing killed the
appearances
guy, so
really.
like
I mean,
anything is
Boeing
Yeah,
fucking
Boeing
Boeing
definitely
fucking killed that guy.
Therese
Oh
has
my
to fly, and I
god.
was like, you cannot fly United.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, do not get on
Right.
any of the Boeing Maxes. Like, if you have to, like, try and
We
take
flew
Airbus,
Boeing
but if it's not an
Maxes.
option,
Yeah.
don't take
Yeah.
at least get like the smaller, like the Boeings. Don't take a Max for sure.
Boeing fucking killed that guy.
Yes.
And then also,
I mean, also maybe not, but probably.
no, listen,
Boeing,
almost
if you're listening.
almost certainly
I mean,
killed that
but
guy.
also probably not, but also Probably.
Absolutely.
Like
Fucking,
this,
yeah.
I'll say this. This is much. I don't feel as concrete about this as I do with Jeffrey Epstein. That guy definitely didn't kill himself.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, I don't know. If you're a whistleblower and you're going to testify again, and then you wind up dead. I don't know.
and
And we'll just,
didn't he also say like he told someone like it was
he
something
did.
happens to me?
Well, but
Yeah,
but
so
there's no recording of that, and that's
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah,
that's hearsay,
you
and
can't-
so
totally hearsay, totally hearsay.
if
But
there was something
because he
concrete
is,
that said that, I would
yeah,
be
but
on your
here's
side. But
hearsay evidence
Yeah,
can
no,
be
totally.
admitted. Hearsay evidence can be admitted if the person is dead. So,
yeah,
it's not
well, just because we
Um,
have a justice system doesn't mean it's good.
Oh, then never
Hey,
going after.
look,
Then never.
rules of
There
evidence.
will never be any fucking
rules of evidence,
follow-up.
baby. No, there's no follow up to this, and that's how you know.
They did a good job.
So, anyway, Kate Middleton, right?
God.
Going from Boeing to Kate
Right.
Middleton, and I think
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I personally, what do I know? I don't really know anything about what's going on. If it is that she just looks bad because she had abdominal surgery and it was a major surgery and she still hasn't recovered and she just looks bad, do you think people would really care? Like, I get the whole point of them is the image and pristine and proper and blah blah blah. But do you think people would? I think it would be the opposite. I think they'd be like, yeah, she's recovering from
But
something.
maybe she's mad at her husband. She wants to cause drama, make them look bad.
Also
I
true.
mean, look, if
Right?
Kate Middleton
He's hooking up
fucking
with
winds up
he's getting
dead in
pegged
a
by his mistress.
Parisian
He's
tunnel.
Oh yeah. Oh
Right?
yeah.
That's the story. His
Listen.
mistress pegged him or something.
I would be
That's what I saw.
What?
Yeah, that's what I
something
saw.
like that. I would be such a. I feel like I'd be such
I mean,
a good.
Now it's a
I would-
tabloid podcast. Thanks, Alex.
I would be such a good like secondary royal family member. Like, not like I don't have to do like the big thing, but like I'll just be the guy that's just kind of like there. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be so good at that. Just spend a lot of money, not get into a lot of scandals.
Yeah, you're
You know,
like
not-
you're like the one son on Succession. You're like the outcast son who just like
Oh,
has the money.
yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
like, sits back.
I'd be Connor
Yeah.
Roy. I'd be Connor Roy and just being like, yeah, that's fine. You guys don't respect me. It's fine. I'm playing my video games. I'm hanging out. I'm living
Yeah.
the life. That would be me in the royal family. Anyway,
Nice.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Did you play anything else, Alex, or you just Balatro Helldivers as well?
Balatro Helldivers.
Okay, great. I got to play something else this week just so I have something else to talk about too. You know.
Sure.
Gotta-
we also
gotta
golfed.
crack.
We also
you
golfed.
golfed?
We played Ice Lair.
Oh, that's we did talk about Ice Lair, but
We
yes,
played
we did.
Ice Lair
We're
last
playing
time. But
golf
Tom
again.
hopefully can play Ice Lair.
Get
It's a
in
good
there.
one. It's a good one. It's a good one.
It is. It's
fun.
great. It's great.
It's a good one.
Might kick off the tournament
It's a lot of
tomorrow.
fun.
Might
Right?
kick off the
Yep.
tournament tomorrow.
Where are we gonna get back in?
I think
back
I'm ready.
guy?
I'm ready to.
I'm ready. I'm
All
ready. I'm ready. I'm
Chris,
ready.
I
I'm
heard
ready
you went
go.
to the hospital too.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. You know, I couldn't. I was losing feeling in my legs and my hands, and had to go to the hospital. And
Just like in
It
Survivor.
was
Holy
so-
shit.
Yeah, wait.
oh,
Wait,
dude,
Tom.
dude, when that happened in Survivor, when he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm losing feeling in my hand," I was like, "It's his neck." I knew it immediately. I was like, "You gotta get him out of there. He needs an MRI." And the guy's like, "It might be a pinched nerve." And I'm like, "No, you need to get him into an MRI. It's his neck. I know what this is. I just had this." And then the guy shows up later. He's like, "We need to get you into an MRI."
Yeah. What's so funny, Tom, is because Chris's back was still hurting when we played golf with our friend the other night.
Oh God! Hilarious. This is hilarious.
You could see Chris like sitting down because all in golf, all you see is the head and the arm.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
it still tracks the motion of what's happening, so you
Yeah.
know. So there's Chris. He putts, and the second he's done putting, you just see like the slump down into the seat, and it just really reminded
I could
me
not
of like
stand
that
long enough.
old uncle or your grandfather that used to take
Yeah.
you like play catch or whatever, right? And he's there. He swings done. As soon as any active physical activity, right back down to the chair.
Yeah.
It's up for a
That's
little
why-
bit. to
that's why
grab
I'm
the
getting
ball,
back in shape.
Right back down to the chair.
I just got a membership to LA Fitness. I'm gonna start swimming a few days a week. I got my
Ooh.
physical therapy
Ah.
twice a week that I go to. I went to that today. Man, physical therapy, it is. I mean, the exercise and the stretching part is like tough. Like I'm pretty tired. I had it today.
Yeah.
But the first part of it where like I go and they put me on the heating pads and they give me the
Yeah.
electro stim therapy where like it like electrically like massages my muscles and like stimulates the nerves, and then they give me the ultrasound therapy, and then they give me a massage. Like that part is pretty nice.
Paid for by insurance?
Yeah, they're paying for 18 sessions, so I'm going for twice a week for the next like 7 more weeks, I think.
That's great.
Yeah. In fact, I got to say this: we got the bill from the hospital yesterday. And finally, we're on like, this is the first time since working at the Apple Store where I have like good healthcare again. Like our healthcare is like the last time when I had to get a single MRI, and all they did was the lower back, which they probably should have done my whole back because clearly I had other back problems, and we didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't approve it for me, and it was like $6,000 for that single MRI.
Fuck.
And because they wanted me to get 5 prior authorizations for an MRI.
So ridiculous.
With our old healthcare. With this new one, the hospital stay and everything, the bill, we only had to pay after our deductible, which we had to pay our deductible, which, hey, now I'm going to go. I'm like, we should go see every doctor we can this year. Our deductible is paid off in February, you know? But the bill was $30,000 and we only had to pay $50.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
I was so pumped when I've been dreading that thing coming. Like, what is it gonna be? Because I was in the MRI for an hour. They did my entire spine from my lumbar all the way to my neck, and I had like a hospital stay. I had like IV. I had like the steroids, and I saw the neurologist. I saw the neurosurgeon. I saw the orthopedist. I saw like every doctor was in there, because basically like my symptoms were either what I do have, which is like typically unlikely for someone my age, which means this is probably the result of a bunch of like small injuries over my lifetime now compounding.
So what do you have?
And
what
it's like so basically everyone has some level of disc herniation, and like, they just get worse like over time. And like, it usually doesn't affect you too much to get older unless you get a couple bad ones, which is what happened to like my lumbar, my lower spine. But I also have a thing called spinal stenosis in the neck and in the lumbar. And that just means that my spine there is like the column, like the opening is like a little smaller than it should be, which means the nerves are already like a little bit under more pressure. So having that extra herniation makes it worse. Also, the herniation on my spine pushes against the ligaments, but I also have herniations throughout my like mid back too, not just in like my neck and my lower back. And it's just a result of like, they're like, it's probably just a bunch of different things that are happening throughout your lifetime. They're like, it's typically not something you see unless someone's like been in like a big, like, like a car accident or something, which I haven't been, or until they get into their like 50s, and then like they have like things that happen and it just builds up. So that's the alternative is a thing called cauda equina, which is basically like, if they don't like perform surgery ASAP, like you're like paralyzed, which is why like when I went in, they were like, we have to get him in right now, kind of a thing, because it was more likely because of my age that I had that than I had
Jesus Christ.
what I do have. So like I gotta tell you, it was pretty scary when I came in. And I hear the people like talking like with the insurance, like, and they're talking to the people at the MRI tech. So like, no, like you have to bump them back. We have someone that has to go in now. I was like, not good. Also, I learned something that I do, which is weird, which Therese really didn't like. But so like, when they go in, they got to take blood.
What the fuck is this? Yeah.
They got to take blood.
Yeah.
And also by the lab tech lady, first thing she does, she goes, "How you doing?" And I was like, "Not great." Which she was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't ask that question." But she goes to take my blood. My left arm, I always have trouble with. Right arm, fine. Hard for them to find the vein. But I'm just watching, and Teresa's like, "Why are you watching?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?"
I watch all the time.
I watch.
All right.
I watch it.
Okay, because
we talked about this. I had the same issue when I had my hernia. Oh, that's right. Well, I had the same issue with my hernia surgery. Was that the first lady who came in to try to get the vein fucked it up? I remember I was all, but yeah. Teresa says to the lady, she was like, "How many people watch?" And the lady was like, "Not many." Is it really not many?
Apparently everyone looks away, and she was like, "You were like
watching.
Intensely watching. I think you were like making her nervous."
I'm watching, baby. Maybe I shouldn't watch.
Watch it every time.
Maybe they won't miss.
Every time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
Teresa's brought it up in front of other people, and everyone's like, "You watch?" I was like, "Yes, of course I watch." Who's like,
I
"But when they're
watch.
putting the needle in?" I'm like, "Yeah, someone's." I think it's weird that someone is penetrating your body
Whoa.
and you're not watching it.
Mhm.
If you're coming at me, I want to see it.
Well, that
Wow.
happened to
Wow.
Prince William.
Wait, hold on.
Clip that one.
Clip that line right there. Do you hear that? If you're coming in me,
if I'm getting
I'm
pierced,
watching.
I want to be. I want some level of control here. I want to manage things. I'm like the supervisor, like like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what happened. So we recorded an audio only episode, Tom, for like 30 minutes, and then I threw back to an old episode, and we played out episode 106, I think, or 105, one of those.
I can't
for the rest
believe
of the
people
episode.
listen to us.
I know.
Insane.
So I have a little bit of an
Insane.
update. I have a little bit of an update.
Oh,
So
pregnant.
I took I took
Alex got
Chris's
penetrated.
recommendation
He was with Prince
and I
William.
started reading the One Piece manga. And I got to tell you,
Yes.
I like it a lot better than watching the show. I just
Yes!
really like it a lot better than watching the show. I think it's so much better. I think it's like a lot of the show, there's just this extra fluff, and just the manga is just like right to the point. Here's the lines. Here's what you need to know. Boom. Move on. Like keep it going.
There's some
moving.
moments that you're
Love
gonna
it.
want to watch the animated version part because they're like really awesome. But I'll tell you when you're getting up to them.
The manga's great. I really enjoy it. I was reading it all
So
last
where
night.
are you in the manga?
I'm not that far, like maybe chapter 20. But still, it was like
What is that even? Oh, chapter 20 is like buggy areas. Still,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I was
now we're
thinking, is
past
that-
buggy. No, we're
okay.
past buggy. I'm past buggy now.
So you're with Usopp, you're with the
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
But like I don't know. There was a whole thing with the guy with the lion, and it's just like
You're gonna fly through this.
Yeah, I'm flying, baby. Like I'm loving it. I'm loving the way I'm flying through.
I'm
It
so
is
excited.
great. It's great. I really enjoy
I'm
it.
so
I was
excited.
I was reading it all last night. So
Okay, so by the way, last week Alex has been asking me for a couple weeks to watch the show called The Devil's Plan.
Oh yes, The Devil's
And
Plan.
I promised him last week, by the time we record this week, I will have watched it.
Did you watch it?
I watched the whole thing.
Finish the whole thing. All right.
In 2 days. Not even 2 days. I basically started it and then finished it like halfway through the next day.
Tom, I really think you would like this show.
Tom, what a competition game show this
is.
it's
a competition thing. Okay.
It's a competition game show. It's South Korean. Basically, these 10 I don't know if it's how many people started, but these players are put into basically an arena.
It's 12 players or maybe 13.
Yeah. They're put into an arena, right? And there's the living quarters and then like the game quarters. So there's a different vibe.
They all live together, like on all these
there's
shows.
There's a different vibe for each location.
Right.
So you have
technically
to like
at the same venue though.
At the same venue. Same venue. So they walk from one place to the other place, and then there's a third area called the prison. If you get sent
different
there,
vibe
it's a different vibe. Totally different vibe. Totally different.
I mean,
vibe.
it is.
Yeah.
Though.
So
I'm assuming it is a different vibe.
It is. Yeah, it is. So okay. So let me set the stage. They're put in the living quarters. They basically, I'm gonna assume they filmed this in a week. And
I think it was 2 weeks because they were talking about it, like how it's been like 10 days at one point or something.
Okay. So there's it's basically logic puzzle games that they play.
They're all over the place. Every game is different. Some of them are like RNG luck, and some of them were like social deduction, like people were like manipulating each other.
There's nothing like Survivor. It's not like Run. There's no physical competition.
Yeah, that's true. There is no physical challenge.
There's no physical challenge.
Yeah,
but there is brain challenge.
Yeah,
and social manipulation.
Is that brain challenge?
Right. And then there's also, I don't, without divulging too much, I would say if you're going to watch it with the subtitles. I think personally, watch it with the subtitles.
Okay, so I'm going to interject on that.
There we go.
I watched it with the subtitles.
I don't like the dubs.
Look, I don't like the.
Oh, right. It's Korean. It's Korean. Right? Yeah, I'll probably watch the subtitles.
I watched it with dubs during the game explanations.
Okay, fair
because the
enough.
game explanations, Tom, Alex is not lying when he
love-
says these are complex. You could not make this in America because, like in each episode, there's basically, well, not, they don't break it down that way, but essentially in between eliminations, let's say, there's challenges where you're playing for pieces, which is what keeps you in the game and gets you to the end, or challenges where the group is playing to increase the pot. And that's not necessarily for pieces or elimination. Like, they're two separate types of challenges. Each one of these fucking things, the games are completely different from one another. And the explanations on the shortest side take like 6 to 8 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
And some of them are like 12 minutes. Tom, you're watching like graphics and they're telling the rules, right? They're telling the rules and they'll go back to the people and the people are like, oh, why is this so complicated? And the people are like, what?
But the people are also, so there's two
Oh my
things I
God.
noticed. One thing is that they're taking notes.
Which, by the way,
While
that's what the
the-
dubs sound like. The people are like, huh? What? Oh my gosh. So many rules.
But let me tell you, I mean, me personally, it was fantastic. There's some,
Oh, it's unbelievable.
it's so good. Like
There
there's some
are a
things
couple
that happen
moments
that
on this
that
show
you'll be,
that
yeah,
are
there's moments.
all time game
Yes.
show moments.
Yes, all time. I would agree.
What do
all
we
time
watch
game
it
show
on? What
moments.
do I watch?
It's on
it
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they're
Yes.
doing a second season. So
Yeah,
It's called The
Yeah.
Devil's Plan.
the Devil's
Yeah.
Plan, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, but Chris,
was
there
great.
are moments that you're just like, it is. Oh,
Teresa at one
it was-
point, because she was working while I was watching it, she just looks up, she goes, are they still explaining the rules to this game?
yeah,
She was like, how is anyone supposed to? And by the
Yeah.
way, there's probably half the players don't usually understand how the game actually works until like
yes.
halfway through the game. And there's
Yeah.
so there's very clearly like the best game players are really like leading the pack always, because the other people
Mhm.
are, they're like, I don't know how the fuck you play this game.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
The amount
Like,
of
some
time
of
someone would
these-
be like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, like-
That's
Like
hilarious.
yeah, you'll see. Like one of the contestants is like a K-pop singer, and then another one is like an incredibly smart, like one of the smartest people I've seen in a game show. Like
Yeah.
that kind of smart.
Okay.
Like,
I want to play Nine Man's Morris.
I do too, man. It's great.
Yeah.
I would
Gotta
love.
see if
I would
that's a
love to
game we
be
can play
on.
somewhere.
Like this is one of the game shows that I wish I could be on. This seems
I'd
like a
rather
lot of
be
fun.
on the Mole than
Mm.
this.
Mhm,
But this
mhm,
would
sure.
be, I do think, Alex, that both you and I think about what game show sometimes, like, oh, what would I do best on?
Yeah.
I think you and I might actually have our best shot at a game like this.
Yeah,
at
this.
actually
I
winning.
would not be good at Survivor. They would vote me out. They'd be like, "He is so annoying. He complains about everything. Get him out of here."
I would never want to play Survivor.
No, me
I would
neither.
want to play Traders, but the Traders is so
Yeah.
unbelievably difficult to win.
Yeah,
So
it
there
is.
is a lot of luck. The Mole, I
Yeah.
bet, is super fun, but I
Mole's
think
gotta
this
be
would
fun.
probably be my best shot. Like while
Yeah.
watching this, I had that same thought that you have.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, I
It's a great
look
show.
forward to you texting me your thoughts about One Piece. I won't,
Yeah.
spoil anything for you. I won't tell
Yeah.
you anything, but you should send me your thoughts as you're going. I expect though you'll do that once you're actually caught up with and past where you've seen up to.
Yeah, because
You got to get
I've
through like
gone
80
through-
chapters.
I've gone through this narrative now. 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
I've gone through this narrative 4 times. Once when I started One Piece and then I stopped.
Yeah.
And then I got back into it. Then I watched the live action. Now I'm reading the manga. So I've been through this arc 4 times.
The One Piece does a really good job of sticking to the manga version, the One Piece cut
Mhm.
of the anime. So when
Mhm.
you get up to an arc around the 300s, I'm gonna be like, look, you just watch this because it's
Mhm.
basically like the length of a Lord of the Rings movie, and it is the whole arc. But
Alright.
there's 1 or 2 arcs that are like almost entirely action that it's worth just watching versus
All right. Okay.
reading
Yeah,
through it.
Fair enough.
I'm so excited about this. This is the best news. After that, I then
best
also
news.
started Manifest, and
Huh?
So we went for burritos, and we ran into Matt's wife, and so we ended up having a accidental double date at burritos. and we were talking about TV shows, which I found out Matt's wife is not the reason Matt has not watched Lost. Matt is the reason Matt has not watched Lost, because he has used the excuse that they have to watch it together and she's not available as to why he hasn't watched it yet. And I brought that up and she was like, no, he just doesn't watch anything fast. And I binge she was like, I'll finish a show in like a week, 10 days tops, which is, I'm like, oh, that's what I do. She's like, he's going to take like 3 months to watch this show. She's like, so every time that I want to start Lost, he's like, oh, well, I'm playing a game right now. And he's playing like Persona. So he's like, going to be playing a game for like 80 hours. So like so now that Matt got caught, Matt has to start watching Lost because he very much got caught out in front of his wife about lying about it. But she was like, oh, you should check out Manifest. And she did warn me. She was like,
this is an old like Fox show,
oldish.
Yeah.
It's not that old. It's like 8 years
but
old.
It happened already.
Yeah, and then it got picked up by Netflix, and Netflix like finished the show, I guess. So I think it only ended like a couple of years ago, actually.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I might stop watching it. She mentioned like she thinks it might be like weirdly like kind of a religious story, like pretending to be science fiction. She was like, but she thinks it's good enough that it's still worth watching. And I'm at like the end of the first season, and I'm like, I don't think they're even pretending anymore. I think this is, someone was like, I want to make Lost and make it kind of explicitly religious. I want to make like The Leftovers and make it kind of, and it's unfortunate because those parts of the story I find so unpalatable, but everything else is like, oh, if they had toned that down, I would probably finish this. But I think I'm going to bail, which is not something I typically do. I don't typically bail on a show, but I don't think I can. I texted her about it, and she was like, I think it's worth it. She was like, but it is like kind of weird. I'm like, yeah. I think I'm bailing on it. So I don't know. If you've seen Manifest and you think it's worth watching, let me know, because I think I might stop watching it.
All right. So we've got stuff to do.
Yeah, we do have some stuff to do. Let's talk about how we're gonna do this then.
Okay.
Talk about it, Alex.
So this is the challenge?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so I had a challenge suggested 3 weeks ago that we would travel from one tower in Tears of the Kingdom to the base near Hyrule Castle, and then we would pray at the statue. Fastest to do it would win. I attempted it and found that when I did this, it was extremely boring and stupid.
God.
And stupid. The problem is that I was under the impression that the Zonai materials would have a greater effect in getting us further than I thought. And the fastest method that I found was to just use the Skyview Tower to parachute or glide into the next tower and then glide to the town, which is extremely boring. Took me 6.5 minutes. That's my time. I did do it. I recorded it. It's boring as fuck. So I don't think we're even going to do it. So I think we're going to nix that. If we want to do something like this, I think we would have to do a very, very short distance, a much shorter distance, that it would make sense to use the Zonai devices. I don't know why I thought I was under the impression that the rockets would get me further, or I could use like a catapult or a spring that would just launch me over long distances. That was a really bad idea. I apologize for that. And so with that, I will relinquish picking any challenges for the next one because I fucked up. So
we'll just go with the winner of the secondary challenge that got built in.
Sure. So the secondary challenge was.
Let me just make a comment about this because I tried it a few times as well, and I had. So the one thing I did though was I looked up the fastest builds you could make with Zonai, and it turns out I didn't have the right materials for them. And then I'm in the process of going to this dungeon to get this railing, which you need to get 17 of. So I go and I get the fucking railing, but then I don't have enough Zonai material to duplicate it 17 times. And then I'm about to start going and getting enough. And I'm like, this sucks. And it's
Yeah,
like, you know
no, it
what?
sucks. The whole
Alex
thing
isn't
was
going to do
terrible.
this. Let me
I'm
just try
not.
and do my best. I tried
Yeah.
building a couple things on my own,
I did
and
too.
I found the same exact thing you did. And so
Yeah.
I also ended up just parachuting
Yep.
from tower to tower. And I was like, this sucks. I was
This
like, I feel
sucks.
bad because like I don't want to be like, oh, this wasn't fun and I'm quitting.
Yeah,
So I
this
did it
sucks.
anyway.
I
But
did too. I wanted to text you. I wanted to text both of you, but Tom was in Iceland, and I was just
I
like,
wasn't
"Oh,
doing
forget
it.
it."
Yeah.
And I knew he wasn't going to do it, so I was like, "You know what? I'm going to record it just in case Chris did something really cool." And like, I was thinking maybe because if anyone was going to do something really cool, it'd be you. So I was like, "Look, if Chris did something really cool, we'll call it, and
Sure.
Chris wins." But if you didn't, which is what you kind of alluded to at the beginning of this episode, that it was like, well, I only did. I was like, you definitely did what I did. So we're gonna nix it.
And you know why I did what you did? Because it's been so long now since I played this game that it took me a while to figure out how to even just get to the Zonai material, how to like use the buttons again. And then in my attempts, I was making errors that like was costing me so much time that like I walked away from attempting this so many different times that I was like, I might not
Also,
even get
the
a full run in.
distance.
I might not even get a full run in.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated by this.
And what's so funny was that was like my original idea was to go from like Gerudo village
corner to corner.
corner to corner. How fucking, oh my God. I don't know why. And then I remembered
There
like
is
I
a
was,
build that lets you travel the whole distance in 2.5 minutes, which is like unbelievably fast. But I don't, I didn't, I wasn't going to
no, I
spend
don't have
like
any of that.
45 minutes getting the
No.
materials I needed to do it.
No, I don't know why I thought that I could use like springs or like a catapult situation, but all right, so that's done. Okay,
Yeah.
so forget that. If we're gonna go back to Tears of the Kingdom, it's gonna be a short distance where the Zonai materials actually can come into play.
Yeah.
So the other challenge we did was the best hand in Balatro. And I just sent you a picture of mine, even though yours is a video. So I don't know what you want to do here.
Okay.
So that's up to you.
Did you just take the picture with your phone or did you send it from the Switch?
No, I sent it from the Switch.
All right.
I'm actually now going to delete my video of my run to save up space on my phone from Tears of the Kingdom because this is stupid.
All right. So that's our first ever whiff with this. But you know what? It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen that we would do something where it's like, you know what? That one didn't work out. We got to, I think if there's any kind of like open-ended stuff like that, you should, if it's that open-ended where it's not just like play a level for a time or a score kind of a thing, you should attempt it before we announce it.
In my mind, I had attempted it millions of times because I'd played Tears of the Kingdom and I'd made Zonai devices and I knew what I was doing. But apparently,
I couldn't believe how much I felt like I couldn't recall about that game and how to play it. It made me feel like such an idiot.
It's tough jumping back into that one.
It was really hard, actually, jumping back in.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just export right now the video. I was thinking, by the way, with this, Alex, what we should do is I think playing the videos all at the same time only makes sense when we're doing something that's like
exactly
that it makes sense to do. Yeah, where it makes sense to do that. I think depending on what we do, maybe we'll play one video and then I'll freeze frame it and then play the next and then play. We'll figure it out just so that it's easier to pay attention to. I wish you had recorded the hand, but I understand why you didn't. You didn't know that would be your best.
I didn't know that was going to be the best, and I honestly wasn't in that mindset. Actually,
that makes sense.
The ham.
The hand.
The Han Solo. Anyway, so Tom, any anecdotes from the land of ice? How much ice did you say?
Oh, quite a bit. It was when we got there, a lot of snow, but it very quickly warmed up, and then it's just crazy how like warm it can get very quickly there. And so then there was like no snow, and then there were like pockets of snow around the country. Yeah, and what would I recommend if you were going to go? Definitely just like see the natural stuff. It's really kind of mind-blowing. We went to a lava show, so an indoor lava show, which is really cool.
That's cool as hell.
That is cool.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lava hasn't flowed in Reykjavik in 5,000 years. Until now is how they introed it. Yeah, that was really cool.
That's awesome.
And so it's the only place that you can do that, like have
Yeah.
see that, and they like manipulate it. They show what happens when ice interacts with it.
Sure.
That's so cool.
That's
They
pretty
kind
cool.
of like explain like how like
Yeah.
fun fact about Iceland, it will just keep growing in size because it is just volcanic rock.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so like as these things happen, like it grows 2 centimeters every year.
Ooh.
It's very,
Let's
very cool.
rock.
Although, as the sea level rises,
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
who's
Speaking
gonna
of-
win?
Well, who's going to win? Let's find out in this head-to-head between TuneTaygaryen and Tuna. So
Teams
mine's
and
just a
teams.
picture.
So yours will be your picture. It'll pop up,
All right, go ahead.
and then after a few seconds, mine will start playing.
All right. Are we sure?
Oh, you got a
Hey!
high card. High card. 2 million.
Yep.
Wow, high card.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
High card 2 million, baby. All right, let's see. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, I recorded the hand,
Yeah.
so I'm doing a flush
If you're gonna do the flush, why would you use that Jupiter card?
because you'll say.
Okay.
I have no idea what's
Oh,
going on
I
right
see.
now.
Holy oh my god.
32 million.
32 million.
369,000.
Shit. So I was
So-
afraid. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, say it.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, so there is a card you can unlock. There's a
Mm.
voucher that
Mm.
any planets you have in your consumable area work as a
Mhm.
times 1.5 multiplier.
Jesus Christ. So what's that one? What's the card second from the left? I don't think I've ever seen that one. The Joker,
That
second
one
from the left.
is that one is if you have hearts, it's times 2 multi for a heart card.
Unbelievable.
I don't
Yeah.
know what the fuck is going on.
You
So
got to
basically,
play this
Tom,
game, Tom.
I'm playing a hand, right?
Right.
And I'm playing a flush. But on
Yep.
this flush, first of all, you see like a bunch of different cards, right? This one I turned into a wild card. So this actually could be played as any suit. So if I have a non-heart, it'll count as whatever the other suit I'm playing it with. So like you can modify your cards in your deck. This one is a lucky card. This one plays the card twice, and this one gives you extra points. Like these are
Mhm.
like things I've done to affect my cards in my deck. And then when I played them, what happens is you have your jokers. This is where the real like gameplay comes in. Is you have you end up getting jokers from the store in between each round. You get money. You have money. You get money to buy cards, and your jokers then apply modifiers to the hand you play. So like each card when it plays gives me coins on the left hand side, and then I have my multiplier on the right hand side. So each one of these jokers, like that one that you see like is like moving, is giving all of my heart cards times 2 multi. Then I have steel cards in my hand, which are giving times 1.5 multi. And you'll see this is the multi. It just keeps going up and up and up. Then that one gives me plus 1.5. Then I have a times 3 for my whole hand. So I'm going from 8,000 to 24,000 to 62,000 to 93,000. So I did 93,000 multiplier on this.
And that's
Crazy.
high. And that's high.
That is
I mean, that's ridiculous.
that is to beat.
Yeah.
So to beat, there's to beat a deck, right?
Mhm.
You have to go through what are called antes, and there's 8 antes to beat a deck. After that, after you win, you can continue on in endless mode and just go until you eventually lose against the ante. The ante is always listed by the blind. So like to win, I had to get 450 million. So I had reached a implausible like level of difficulty here, which you can still go beyond, but I have not gotten that far.
Plus ultra.
But yeah, this is well beyond winning. This is winning plus 50% already. This was I mean, I texted you,
Nice.
Alex. I texted the group
Yeah.
and I said I just won the
Yeah,
head-to-head challenge.
Yeah. So, well, I mean,
This
you say
reminds me of
that.
shit you could pull off a Marvel Snap.
Well,
you know.
I mean, well, you say that. You say that you won, but we we were doing what was the best hand. And I believe that I have the best hand right here.
Well,
So
okay.
it's okay. It's a
Unfortunately, we're
hook.
playing head to head and not Ask Master.
Right. So
So
this is a hook. Okay. Scratch your head.
yeah.
Okay. Pick your teeth.
Can't
I mean,
really with
I
that.
don't know how there's anything better than this hand right here. Thoughts? Tom?
Is this a continuation of a bit, or
No,
like
this is the this
He's
this
trying.
is
He's
this is
trying to
this is the bit.
keep the
This is the
win.
bit.
Trying to keep
holy?
the win.
I'm trying to keep the win
No.
alive here because I had a feeling this would happen. So
I
I
had
to
a
get
feeling
creative.
this would happen. No, Chris's thing is way more impressive.
This isn't impressive. This is a gold plated piece here.
Yeah, if that was actually gold, I'd give it to you, but it's not,
It is. How could you prove it's not?
because it definitely looks like it's plastic.
Ting 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 ting.
You're not
All right.
winning anyone over there.
I have the next head to head challenge. I've had this
All right,
since November.
Hit it.
Uh,
Okay.
go on your Xbox.
Alright.
Download GoldenEye.
Oh,
Okay.
Christ.
We're gonna be doing fastest speed on the second level. So you have to beat the first level to get up to it. Fastest speed on facility on the, and I thought about this because I don't want it to be laborious and I want you to be able to take multiple attempts. So I was going to do a higher difficulty to throw more into it, but actually we're going to do fastest speed, base difficulty, agent. Whoever can get through and like finish the mission, you have to have like, mission complete. You can't like fail for your fastest time. You have to actually win the mission. Wins.
That's good.
And we're on the Xbox, it'll be easy, Alex. You can record the whole thing. You can record.
That was a good qualifier because I was already thinking I can complete the mission real fast by dying.
You have to gain entry to laboratory area, rendezvous with 006, destroy all tanks in bottling room, and minimize scientist casualties. On the base difficulty, it'd be very easy to get through the level, but this way you'll be able to attempt it, a good handful of times without it being too difficult. Try and get your speed up, find a couple of ways to cut corners, get through it faster.
Okay, I like it.
And the first level is so easy that it won't take you more than a couple of minutes, to unlock the second one. So the first level's cool, but I thought this would be a better one to do. It's a more interesting stage. So GoldenEye on the Xbox. It's on Game Pass. So there we go.
All right.
There we
it
go.
is. Lost she blows.
There's
all right.
Yes. Okay. Well, great.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, like Second
About that
Saga
time.
only
About that
comes
time.
once a season. So here we are in the second saga of season 4 and series 8 of the Unranked podcast. Alex, it's finally reading One Piece. I can't fucking believe it. I'm so excited. Man.
Well, you watched The Devil's Plan, so I was like, yeah, I'll throw you a bone.
Hell yeah.
I'll throw you a bone.
I earned that one. Thank you so much for listening. Write in, email at unrankedpodcast.com, go to our Discord, drop a question to the pod, 805-738-8692. Hope you're doing well out there. We're doing well in here. But until next time, stay unranked.
Suck it. Engagements.